Hey guys, my name is DJ. I'm a professional voice actor, and in this video, I'm going to tell you guys how to become a voice actor. I have voiced for literally thousands of clients, including Zillow, Jimmy John's, Doritos. I'm also the in-show narrator for the NBA's NBA on Fire weekly recap series. I've also voiced for countless other clients and other things from e-learning to narration, pretty much everything. Hopefully you guys get some value from this video. I'll put timestamps down below. You guys can skip ahead and stuff. Your recording space. I watched so many videos when I first got started in 2020, and every video started the same. Here's your microphone. Here's what you need to get started. And if I'd have known that the microphone was not as important as people say it is, then I could have saved myself a lot of time, a lot of heartache, and probably a lot of money. Your recording space is the most important part of your audio production chain. You can have the greatest microphone in the world. You could have this $1,000 Sennheiser 416 in a shitty recording space, and it's gonna sound like absolute shit, okay? What I recommend is if you have a closet that's walk-in, great. If you don't have a walk-in closet, but you do have a closet, that's still good. What you wanna do is you wanna pack everything you can in there. Non-reflective stuff. Sound bounces off of flat surfaces, okay? So you want to put as many clothes as you can in there. Your clothes, your mom's clothes, your wife's clothes, your brother's clothes. And then if you're able to put something on the ceiling, that would be even better. I know that's not necessarily feasible for most people. What I did was I created almost like a little tent, a canopy above me by putting some bungee cords across my walk-in closet from one rack to the other. And then I draped over a big blanket. And I also hung clothes on the door that was behind me, the closet door. I put a yoga mat on the closet door. I had my little desk in the closet, and I put another yoga mat on top of the desk. Just anything you can do to reduce sound reflections, guys, because the sound reflections are what's gonna make your audio sound really boxy like this, and it's like, wow, that sounds terrible. Trust me, your audio quality is really important when you're auditioning. They can hear that right away, and if your audio quality is not up to speed, they're just gonna pass on you regardless of how good your performance is. Okay, let's talk equipment. What kind of microphone do you get? Man, if I could tell you how dumb I was about microphones at the beginning, I bought a USB microphone when I first started. Do not do that. No USB microphone, all right? Just remove USB microphone from your vocabulary. USB microphone is never going to give you the fidelity of the audio that you need to compete for voice acting jobs, okay? What you need is a condenser microphone, okay? Condenser microphone that has a large diaphragm. And I don't know if you can see inside of that little gold thing there. That is called a diaphragm. I did not know that when I started. Also, the diaphragm, you talk into the diaphragm, not to the back of the diaphragm. I did not know that. But in terms of microphones, I started with a $32 from Amazon. It was a Chinese-made microphone. Didn't even have the right cables to hook up to my interface. And we'll talk about interfaces in a second. And so I ended up having to buy more cables. And then once I got everything hooked up, I realized that the audio quality was actually pretty bad. And it had a high noise floor. Some microphones that are not as, I'll say well-produced, I won't say expensive, but well-produced, they have a higher noise floor. And it has like self-noise. That's gonna be unavoidable if you're trying to get in a low budget. I don't recommend going with that $32 microphone from Amazon because you're going to outgrow that very quickly as you realize that you can't do much to make your audio sound good. It's gonna make you sound terrible. I made this my second microphone, and this is an X2. This actually had just gotten released when I found it, and it was $199. Booth Junkie, I'll link his video down below. He did a review of this one, and that's the reason why I bought it. I believe it's $299 now. Good, go inflation. But God, this microphone was a workhorse for me, guys. I'm talking about, I made probably close to my first $100,000 using this microphone over a period of 2 years, okay, before I bought this Sennheiser. But you don't have to necessarily go with this one. I'll put a link for it down in the description below. But any microphone within like the $200 to $400 range will get you where you need to be. I've seen people use like, I forget the maker, but it's like an AT 2020. I think that's like $80. I've seen people use like $150 microphones. I just don't know. I don't have any experience with them, but $200 to $300, maybe $400. I wouldn't go more than that unless you're absolutely sure you want to make this a career because you don't know yet. Anything that can stop you from having to pay again for another microphone later. Like I said, I recommend this one. And matter of fact, I'll play a sound sample for you. You can hear the difference between this microphone and the Sennheiser. It's actually not that big, relatively speaking. It's a difference. But for what you guys are going to be going for, this is actually a really good microphone. So take a listen to the sample. There are about 60 million adults 65 and older living in this country. And last year, nearly 1 million of them were hospitalized with flu, COVID, or RSV. There are about 60 million adults 65 and older living in this country. And last year, nearly 1 million of them were hospitalized with flu, COVID, or RSV. Next, you're going to need something to record the audio through. These types of microphones do not really connect to the computer, so you're not going to just plug this into your computer and start recording. That would be a USB microphone. You need an interface. Right now, I'm using a Focusrite Scarlett Solo, or Scarlett Focusrite Solo. It plugs in one microphone, which is my Sennheiser. There are so many fucking interfaces out there, and to be honest with you, I don't fucking know what they do. I just know that you plug the microphone in, it makes my voice sound really good. I'm not a technical guy like that. You're also going to need headphones. Now, some people will use monitoring speakers. You'll see them with 2 speakers on the desk, and it shoots the sound at them. However, as you can see, I'm not really working with a lot of room here, okay? So what I use are monitoring headphones. When I first started, I used AirPods. AirPods or anything like that, these audiophile headphones are not good for voiceover because the audio that's coming through the headphones has an EQ effect applied to it. And it doesn't give you true to reality of what your voice actually sounds like. Also, they're not very good at capturing artifacts and sounds like mouth sounds, clicks, grumbles of your stomach. If you fucking fart, they can't, I mean, you probably won't hear that either. However, these monitoring headphones are made for that. You'll hear everything, and their frequency curve is very flat, and it is not going to sound good for listening to music, but it's going to sound good for listening to your voice, okay? And so if you need to EQ in your post-processing, you can do it really well with these. These are Sennheiser HD 280 Pros. These are $99 on Amazon last I checked. These are good. These came recommended to me by another voice actor. Have never looked back. I've replaced these cups like 4 different times because they're just that good. There's no need to buy more headphones, you just replace the cups. Next, you're going to need a computer, obviously. Almost any computer can run the audio workspace, and that's gonna be a DAW, D-A-W, Digital Audio Workspace. Any computer can run it as long as it's a modern computer. You don't need the fucking NASA space station to do this. I use a Mac Studio, which I just bought this year. But before this, I was using a 2016 MacBook Pro. And before that, I was using a MacBook Air. And the MacBook Air, while it struggled, it worked well enough. You don't need to go out and drop a bunch of money on a new computer. Your basic computer will work. I will note that if you're going to use a laptop, it would behoove you to put the laptop outside of your closet or your recording space, because laptops tend to have loud fans. Loud fans add noise in your recording space. You will hear that in your microphone. There's YouTube tutorials that tell you how to clamshell, which is basically you close your laptop and you can use it with an external monitor. And that'll allow you to put the laptop outside of the booth so you can keep all that noise from the fan out there and have clean audio inside your booth. Once you get your computer, you need the DAW, the Digital Audio Workspace. I personally use Adobe, which is the Audition software, which is what you kind of see on the screen right there. However, if you don't want to spend money, because this is like $60 a month for the subscription, Audacity is free. I think her name is Nastasia Marquez. She's another voice actress. She has a whole tutorial explaining how to use Audacity, and it's absolutely free. I'll try to link her video down below or maybe link it up here. I don't recommend spending a lot of money on equipment unless you're absolutely sure that you're gonna make this a career. Otherwise, you'll be like the thousands of people post-COVID who thought they wanted to get in voice acting and end up selling all their shit on Facebook Marketplace. Just go cheap at the beginning, okay? Next, you need a demo. What is a demo? A demo is like your calling card to let potential clients and buyers know what your performance sounds like, okay? Notice I didn't say voice, I said performance. Voice acting is about acting. This is usually going to be a compilation of 5 to 7 spots. And a spot is like a snippet, usually 10 to 15 seconds. And you have different categories of spots. You'll have your conversational reel read. You'll have something that might be a bit more, for me, a bit more urban. You'll have something that's a bit understated. You'll have something that might be a bit wry and comical, comedic rather. And then you might have something that's a bit more heartfelt and warm, like a healthcare spot. This is very generic. Every demo is different and personalized to the individual. But when you're first starting out, you need a demo to kind of get going. I do not, and I repeat, do not recommend paying anybody for a demo when you're first starting out. I spent $2,500 on a fucking commercial demo when I first started out. I'd only been at it for like 3 months, and it's one of the most regretful purchases I've ever made. I outgrew that demo within months, okay? Within months, it was already like wow, that does not sound like I am better than this now. You can do a DIY demo. Do it yourself. There are a plethora, countless videos on YouTube that'll teach you how to make a demo. Find real commercials, transcribe the commercials, learn how to add music, go into your DAW, record the voiceover, add the music, cut it down to 10 to 15 seconds, bam, you got a spot. Add 5 or 7 of those together, you got a DIY demo. You'll hear a lot of industry professionals saying,
"Oh, never do a DIY demo, that's so amateurish."
We're all fucking amateurs at the beginning, okay? There's no shame in doing a DIY demo. Don't let anybody gatekeep this shit, man. Go out there, make your demo, get working. That's all I'm gonna say about that. How do you know you're ready for a pro demo? If you're at a point now where you have been coaching for a while, I'm making money, I'm booking jobs, and I think I'm ready to get that pro demo, do your homework. There are demo mills. A demo mill is basically a predatory practice where somebody will get you to buy a demo for thousands of dollars, or even package that shit up and produce 3 to 5 demos for you at a package price. I never hear good things about that, guys. If you want recommendations about demo producers, I can make some recommendations in another video, but this isn't the time for that. And if you're watching this video, you're probably not ready for a pro demo anyway. Now you're ready to start looking for work. I know this is the part you guys have been waiting for, where to find work. When I started in 2020, I started on Fiverr and Upwork. I grew my career from 0 to 6 figures on Fiverr. I shit you not, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that Fiverr is bad. I recently got off of Fiverr. I deactivated my account just because of where I am in my career. I don't really want to deal with Fiverr right now. But if you're just starting out and you're looking for work, Fiverr is hands down the most democratic way to get into voice acting because you get to set your rates. You get to upload whatever demo you want. They added more stringent usage rights. You can get started on Fiverr within minutes. I will caution that Fiverr, when I started, was far less saturated. When I started, I believe there were like 28,000 gigs in voice acting, and I was able to become a top-rated seller within a year. And I also became a Fiverr Pro within 2 years. It is a much more saturated place now. The people who have been there for a while are quite entrenched, and Fiverr is going to keep showing them, obviously, to people that come looking for voice actors. However, it's not to say that you can't get in there and start building your credits. It does take a little while to kind of get that ball rolling and get Fiverr to show you to people. But once you get a few orders under your belt, you should be able to kind of get going, the momentum built. And as long as you're getting 5-star reviews and you're satisfying the customer, Fiverr is going to keep showing you to people. I made videos about how to get started on Fiverr, how to build a gig, how to optimize your gig. I'll link those down in the description below, and I'll also link it up here. You can check those out. Voice Jungle, Voice Realm. I'm only mentioning these because I did use them. I did try them, rather, and I did not use them after like a first couple weeks. I just couldn't. And it's not that they don't give you work. It's that they force you into this hamster wheel of working over these jobs that are just paying you absolute shit rates, guys. Shit rates. And it's just terrible. It's predatory. But I'm putting it here because at the beginning, you just need work, man. You need work anywhere you can get it because you need to get those 10,000 hours under your belt of experience so that you can start leveling up. Next, I'm mentioning these by name. Casting Call Club, I believe it's called, and Backstage. I've never used them because my work is mostly in commercial, promo, trailer, narration. However, for video games and animation, I believe it's a really good spot to get both paid and unpaid opportunities. I've heard mixed reviews about both sites. I can't speak from personal experience, but I think it's worth mentioning their names. You guys can check them out and see if it's a fit for you. Next, Bodalgo. I'm mentioning Bodalgo before the other pay-to-plays because people hear the word pay-to-play and they suddenly cringe and like, oh, they have a visceral reaction. Bodalgo is the good one. It is a paid site though. You have to pay a membership fee. I believe it's like $49 a month. And there aren't a lot of auditions. And the auditions that come, they're for people who are like in the middle of their career or higher. If you're just starting out, it's not the first place I'd recommend. I probably wouldn't touch Bodalgo just because you won't be competitive. You'll be competing with people like me, okay? And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but obviously if you're just starting out, it's really not much of a competition. You know what I'm saying? So get some hours under your belt, get your experience, and then consider Bodalgo as a potential source of opportunities. Voices.com and Voice123. Now, I have tried both. I have paid for both several years. I will go ahead and say I don't like Voices.com at all. I've had success there. I know people who have had massive success there, and they still continue to have massive success there. However, I don't agree with some of their business practices as it relates to usage. A lot of the jobs that come through, they're like asking for in perpetuity, forever usage for broadcast. For somebody who's starting out like you, it's also not a good place because you are competing with those really, really good voice actors. There are really great voice actors on voices.com. The biggest challenge for voices.com is you have to be fast. Not as fast as like a Voice Jungle or Voice Realm, but you'll see an audition come through for $2,500 and you're like, oh shit, an audition for $2,500. By the time you download the script and get ready to record, there's already 10 auditions that have been submitted. That's how fast these motherfuckers fill up. And you're still new, so you're probably gonna take a little while. If it takes you 15 minutes to record your audition, 100 submissions have already been submitted. I mean, there's a bit more nuance to it, but as a surface level view, like an overhead view, don't do voices.com, guys. Wait till you get good enough, and if you feel like it's something you want to add to your marketing wheel, consider it, but I can't wholeheartedly recommend voices.com. Voice123, on the other hand, I kill it on Voice123. They don't throw as many opportunities at you that come with in perpetuity. Many clients that come there are going to go ahead and choose a term, 1 year, 6 months, 3 years. Voice.com has $500 paid membership. That's $500 done. Voice123, on the other hand, has a tiered system, and this is the downside. The tier system, the more you pay to play, the more you get in terms of opportunities. I'm currently at the $2,200 a year level. $2,200 is a lot of fucking money to pay to get those opportunities. In my second year, I was at the $888 level. I compare that to what I am right now, and it's a night and day difference. I still made back my $888 membership fee, but to be honest with you, like the opportunities, I would get them after 20-something people had already submitted, and there's only 50 submissions allowed. You're already fighting an uphill battle. And if you're looking at the free membership, well, good luck. You ain't getting shit. It's just not worth it. You got to start at the $888, and that's a lot of money, again, for somebody who's just getting started in voice acting. So keep them in the back of your mind. I'm not going to say don't use them, because I do use them. However, you just have to understand what you're getting yourself into when you do decide to use them. Social media is an excellent resource for finding leads. A lead is a potential opportunity, and for finding castings. Now let's talk about video games and animation just briefly. I don't personally use social media for any kind of video game or animation. My stuff comes from my agent. But when you're starting out, there's a lot of low budget work. There's a lot of passion projects that come through. And I believe on Twitter's a really great, or X, is a really great resource for finding those video game roles. And if you're trying to get your foot into animation video game, it's a great place to cut your teeth. You're not gonna find many commercial opportunities there though. LinkedIn's a great place to connect with the companies and the producers that are creating those types of projects. Instagram is a great place to meet people as people. It's not so much great for business relationships, but if you see a producer on LinkedIn and you want to, see what they do in their personal life, you can talk to them on Instagram, maybe shoot a DM and stuff. Just don't go into social media looking for jobs, okay? You want to go to social media looking to build relationships and to kind of learn more about those people. That way, when you talk to them one day, you have something to talk about. Production rosters. Production rosters, oh man, there's so many of them. If you search for audio production companies across the United States, you'll find them. You can find them in any country. These companies produce content, and so they like to keep an internal roster of voice talent for different categories, male, female, young, old. A strategy is to put yourself on as many production rosters as you can. And then one day, maybe you'll get an email and say, hey, DJ, we got this new job coming up. We'd love to hear you audition for it. And yes, I've booked directly from production rosters. Direct marketing. I'm gonna say this now. Do not direct market until you have a decent demo. I'm not gonna say pro demo, I will say decent demo. I have TikToks about direct marketing strategies, interviews with people who talk about direct marketing. You can check out my TikTok account for that. It's linked down below. Direct marketing is not instant gratification. Just remove that all right now, okay? If you're trying to use direct marketing as a funnel for finding work, all you're trying to do is put yourself in the ear of potential buyers of your voice, and hopefully you come to mind when it's time for them to look for filling some roles for a job. Lastly, for finding work, agents and managers. And I put this last for a reason, guys, because the old way to find work in voice acting was you need an agent. They were the gatekeepers. And to a certain extent, they still are the gatekeepers. However, at your level, if you're watching this video, you are not ready for an agent, okay? You don't need an agent. An agent's not gonna be able to serve you in the best way possible because you don't even know who you are yet as a voice actor. All right, you have to establish your identity first and understand who you are. That way you can present you to the agent and they know where to put you in their roster and send you the proper opportunities. Honestly, agents aren't as necessary as they used to be. You don't need to look for an agent until you've kind of exhausted all the other resources I've just told you about, okay? Because you can build a whole career and stop at production rosters. You don't need to touch direct marketing. You don't need to touch agents. And you don't need to touch managers. You can have a very lucrative career with just the top of the list I gave you, because I did it. I made 6 figures, not touching agents and not touching managers. If you're looking for an agent though, I have videos about how to approach an agent. I'll try to link those down below, and I'll also link it up here for you. Managers. I have a manager. I'm managed by ACM Talent. Managers and agents, what's the difference? In a short answer, managers are managing your career. Agents are trying to procure opportunities. Some management companies like the one I'm with, they kind of act almost like a manager agent. And so they not only procure lots of opportunities for me, but they also act as a mentor and a career guidance counselor, if you would. That role is necessary when you get to my level, I think, because I've exhausted all the resources that I can do for my own. And when you've reached that point, you'll know it, because usually a manager will find you. That's how I got mine. They found me. But if you're trying to pitch to a manager, you should be going in with a book of work. Not, oh, I booked a Jimmy John spot, 9 years ago. No. You should be a working voice actor. You should be booking regularly and showing them, hey, I'm already doing my thing and making my own 6 figures. What can you do for me? And then that's how the partnership is created, because managers do take a % of your entire VO book value. Okay, whatever revenue you get, they get a percentage of that. So you want to make sure that that relationship is right and that they're actually going to push you to the next level. Okay, guys? Free resources. This is something that I must stress to you. You need to wear this shit out. I need you to go as hard as you possibly can on free resources before you drop a fucking cent on paying somebody to coach you. Not even a workshop. I'm talking about exhaust all the free resources first. Okay, again, you don't know if this is for you. And you don't know if your voice is going to be a hit, and you don't want to spend a bunch of money on something that's just going to not pan out. And I hate to see that for you. I started learning on YouTube through a guy named Bill DeWeese, and he has a whole video library, exhaustive library of pretty much any question you could possibly ask as it relates to building a voiceover career without representation, without an agent, without a manager. What can I do to build my career? Endless videos, man. Endless. Bill DeWeese is the reason why I'm here. Bill DeWeese's library will kind of funnel you into a paid group, which I did join, but that was only after I watched all the YouTube videos. I literally spent days, there's that much content, days watching his videos. And I believe he does a weekly live stream, every Friday, where he does Q&A and stuff, and you can go in there and ask questions. And he's built a very nice and respectable community. He helps a lot of people get into this industry. I'll link his stuff down below. Next, there's a podcast and also YouTube, but they do both, podcast format and YouTube. It's VO Buzz Weekly. With Chuck Duran and Stacy J. Funny story, Stacy J is also managed by the same management company I'm managed by. Man, talk about great industry knowledge. Many of the videos are I don't say outdated, they're old. Pre-pandemic. But if you're looking for any information about agents or about managers, they interviewed all of the agencies that are coastal. I'm talking about Dean Panero, Vox, SBV, DPN, Atlas, ACM Talent, Cope Management, Bill DeWeese. They interviewed Bill DeWeese. He's on there too. So much knowledge. And if you're just looking for answers about how to get representation, it's a great resource, guys. And it's entertaining to watch. It's fun. It's engaging. Next are a couple of podcasts. I love listening to podcasts as I try to do other stuff in my life and listen to industry news and industry updates. VO Booth Besties, a 3-lady team, and they are always interviewing other voice actors, casting directors, agents, managers, and they're giving great information for free. A lot of the questions that you might have are answered in these podcasts. Also, Atlanta Voiceover Studio, both of them who run the podcast are also represented by the management company I am, ACM Talent. Again, great information. And lastly, I believe it's called Speechless. And they also do the same thing, interviewing casting directors, agents, voice actors. The last free resource is on Clubhouse. I don't know if you're familiar with Clubhouse, but it's called the Voiceover Roundtable. If you go to LinkedIn and search Voiceover Roundtable or just Google search the Voiceover Roundtable, you'll find it. It's with Mike Tobin and Emma O'Neill, and they do not only have interviews with voice actors and casting directors and agents, but probably once every 2 weeks or whatever, they'll open the floor and let people actually do live reads for that casting director or for that agent. You will need to be on LinkedIn and submit and say, hey, I want to join and be picked to go speak. And I believe it's a first come, first serve type of thing. I've actually read live for a casting director on there, and it was a really great experience. Whew, coaching. Man, this is getting long, but I hope you guys are getting value from this. If you are, drop a comment down below and subscribe to the channel because it really helps me notice your support. Coaching should only happen when you have exhausted all of the free resources. Workshops and coaching can get expensive. Again, when you're just starting out, every fucking dollar counts. If you've exhausted all the free resources, you need to start looking at workshops. Workshops serve two purposes. One, the most obvious, is you get a chance to read for agents and casting directors. I'm not going to go into an exhaustive list of where you can find these workshops. Speaking strictly about commercial and promo, Gravy for the Brain and The Sound and the Furry. These two always have workshops. Also, GVAA, they also have workshops regularly with agents and casting directors. I'll try to link those down below for you guys to check out the websites and stuff. But also, you're in a workshop with 9 other voice actors, building a network, building a community, meeting other people who are going through the grind like you are. There are people of all levels, man. Reach out after the workshop and add each other on LinkedIn or Instagram and kind of keep the conversation going. One-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching is really good for fine-tuning and really getting in and sculpting your reads in your performance. If you're still a diamond in the rough, one-on-one coaching is not going to be a good use of your time. I will tell you that you need to vet your coach. I have a video about this too, about how to know if a coach is right for you. Since the pandemic, a lot of voice actors who couldn't quite get going with work during the pandemic suddenly hung up a sign and said, I'm a coach. And everybody's a fucking coach now. Everybody's a fucking coach. I'm not a coach. Make sure you ask your coach when the last time they booked something. The last time they booked something was in January and it's fucking December? No, bro. I need somebody who's booked shit last week, okay? And you're booking shit every week. I need somebody whose ear is on the ground and knows what's going on in the industry. The exception to that, casting directors, booth directors, agents, and managers, obviously, but agents, they sometimes offer coaching. There should be an active casting director or an active booth director or an active agent, not somebody who was a casting director 15 years ago. The industry changes and you need somebody who can educate you on those changes and make sure that your performance and your reads are staying up to date with what's going on in the world. The last paid resource for coaching is from a casting director. Her name is Tina Morasco. Tina's a sweetheart, man. Like, I love Tina. I have been to so many of her workshops. Workshops aside, Tina Morasco is literally one of the best coaches out there. I'm putting it out there now. You guys can argue in the comments. I don't give a fuck. All right, Tina Morasco is probably the best commercial voiceover coach out there because she gets results and she completely transformed my reads. She offers something called the library, which is a pre-recorded library of her coaching you through a one-on-one session. It's like having her in the booth with you. And if you get copy and you're like, what should I do with this? That library is very, very helpful. I believe it's like $4.99, but she often has like promotions. I believe there's like a 20% off promotion right now. It's a worthwhile investment because most workshops, like the big ones with the big agents, are gonna be like $180. That's 3 workshops, you've already gone through $500, But with Tina Morasco, you can pay $500 for her library and have access to that forever. It may not be for you at this time, but my God, it's been a fucking game changer for me. Okay, let's talk representation. That's agents and managers. Again, I said it earlier, guys, you don't need an agent. You don't need a manager. Many of my colleagues have built very, very lucrative careers without agents. I know personally one person who's only on Fiverr and Voice Jungle, and she's making like almost $200,000 a year. Okay, this is real shit. You don't need an agent. If you do decide you want to go for an agent and add that, understand that agents don't lead to work. Agents lead to opportunities. An agent's job is to procure opportunities that match your spec, and you will audition and hopefully book. However, if you don't book and you never book anything through them, the agent has still done their job by procuring the opportunity for you. If your agent is not sending you auditions or sending you like one audition a month, maybe it's time to look for a different agent. They are not your boss. This is your business. You make any kind of decisions you want. Don't let the agent sit there and bogart you and think that they're bigger and better than you because they gatekeep shit. If you are starting out and maybe you've been in for like a year and you think you're ready for representation, do not, I know there's a lot of do nots in this video, do not go to the coasts. That's LA and New York. Please don't do it, guys. Coastal agents, their rosters are stacked of talented people, okay? You are not there yet. And I'm not saying that to be elitist, I'm just being real. So don't touch the coastal agents until you're absolutely sure that you can provide a very good pro demo and that you're coming in and you're a professional. Regional agents, on the other hand, may be the spot for you. In that umbrella, we're also talking local agents. Regional agents are in the smaller markets, Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, even like in Canada, Toronto, Ontario, Vancouver. You can go with places like Seattle, Austin. Just search for any large city outside of LA, New York, and more than likely you're going to find regional agents there. I believe that they're better because they are more apt to take talent that are less experienced. So it's a good chance for you to get in there and get some opportunities and start cutting your teeth and compete. And you might actually start hitting some bookings. And once you start doing that and you start getting a body of work, start paying for coaching, and then start looking at the coastal agents, okay? Don't leave yet. Let me finish with some closing thoughts that I think will add value. Firstly, in 2025, voice actors are 100% in charge of their own destiny. This is not the 2000s, the 1990s, where your agents were your gatekeepers and they basically guided your career. You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to be a business person. If you go and look at the biggest voice actors, you'll see that a lot of them, they're not getting all of their work from one source. You have to go out and you have to find work. You have to hustle. You have to do everything that a business person would do, not just performance, accounting. You have to do with finances. You have to do with invoicing, you have to do with training, you have to do with healthcare, you have to do with all of these things. It's all you guys. Don't go into this without knowing that, or at least recognizing that that's gonna have to happen eventually. Also, I never understand why people will stick to one thing. Oh, I'm an audiobook narrator. Why limit yourself to just one thing? Diversify your skill set, because the more places you can work, the more money you make. And all right, we want to make money, right? That's what we're doing this for, to make a living. With that being said, if you decide to go out into other things, don't settle. All right, coach your ass off. Go to workshops, network, get better, strive to be the best. Will you be the best? That's subjective. It's all subjective, but are you the best you? Don't just get fucking comfortable and sit down. Yeah, I did a couple of coaching sessions. I don't need to coach anymore. Fuck that. You need to coach all the time. Make a budget for coaching. Once you start making money, get a workshop in every quarter, man. Like, you got to be getting better, because I am, my friends are, my colleagues are. As we get better, that gap between you and me is going to get wider and wider. And I'd hate to see you guys get left behind because you got lazy. If you don't know what kind of voice actor you want to be, find the voice actors who are doing the things that you think are cool. Find a handful of these really big talent. Find out how they got there. Reverse engineer what they did, and then re-engineer the pathway for you to get to where they are. Don't fly blind and think that shit's just gonna happen serendipitously. And if you guys have any questions for me, drop it in the comments down below. I hope this super long video was helpful for you. My name is DJ, and I will see you guys in the next video.